I want to comment on how in America, I think that we often see things through the particular lens of our own history, which is natural, but sometimes it can have a very distorting effect. And one example of this is slavery. Slavery probably existed prior to people being able to record history. It goes back to prehistorical time period when people hadn't invented writing yet. And throughout most of history, white people enslaved white people, black people enslaved black people, Asian people enslaved Asian people, and indigenous Americans enslaved indigenous Americans. It was only rather late in the game that it became possible for people to get slaves from a part of the world in which people look different, in which there are different races. And while it was the case in America that slavery was race-based, it wasn't the case probably for 90-95% of the time that slavery had anything to do with race. Okay, the Bible mentions slaves. And in all likelihood, the slaves and the slave owners looked about the same as they have throughout history. And the word slave in English is said by many people to be related to the word Slav, because Slavic peoples who were white were so often enslaved. I have read something that said, oddly enough, that when slavery evolved in the prehistorical period, it may have actually been progressive. What? No, because it's quite possible that the custom of murdering prisoners of war changed to the custom of enslaving prisoners of war. And, nobody wants to be a slave. They even more strongly don't want to be dead. Okay, so when we talk about slavery, we do have to recognize that throughout most of history, it had nothing to do with race, because both slave owner and enslaved were of the same race. Okay, I hope you enjoyed hearing that, and will subscribe to my channel.